Great Monday morning, everyone. How are you all doing? As I say every day, this is your girl Shan. Happy Monday. I know people are probably dragging, just now getting up. Your mind is like, wow, the weekend, where did it go? But I just encourage you to continue to keep a positive mindset on today. Now, I'm going to talk about today's topic. But then also, I just want to remind you about our show on tonight, Marriage Mondays with the Kings on KRGN 98.5 FM. Good morning, Brandy, The Rock. So for those of you who want to listen in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here, as me and my husband do our show tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I just encourage you, if you don't have the app, go to your app store, type in KRGN FM, and then download the Royal Blue and White app, and you can just stay locked to KRGN 24 hours a day. Hey, Akeisha, how you doing? As everybody's rolling in. Good morning, Simone. How are you? So tonight's topic, we'll be talking about blended families, because on our radio show, it is the month of the family. And so it'll be titled, If He/She Has Children, How Do We Make This Work? And I think it's going to be a really good show. I love to hear my husband be really transparent, because, good morning, Miss Delia, us as women, we love to hear a man's perspective, but we know that's not always safe to go to a man, you know what I'm saying, in our marriage or whatever the case may be, because men don't like, that's a whole nother story. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this today. Give yourself permission to love your spouse and love your marriage. First off, I want to start off saying, give yourself permission to love yourself. Okay, that's straight off the bat. And most people probably like, what do you mean give yourself permission? If we actually look at it and we be honest, okay, let us just be all the way honest, because I am. If we look at it, the world has it to where we always focus on negative, the world where we always thinking negative about ourselves, especially us as women. Oh, I'm too big. Oh, I'm too small. Oh, my hair is not right. Oh, we kind of do a self-sabotage on ourselves. And so give yourself permission to love yourself the way that God has created for you to be. All right. That's number one. Good morning, Shirley. And it is nothing wrong with loving yourself. Something that we have taught was that's a bit cocky. Don't think like that. I didn't say walk around and be arrogant. I'm saying give yourself permission to love yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. Because once you start learning how to love yourself, then you can further give yourself permission to love someone else. And so I was talking to somebody. I was trying to think about who in the world it was. And they were telling me in a different country, it was a guy. They were saying in different countries, and I know I've been in many different countries, but I never asked this question. So if any of you are from a different country, you can verify this or say, no, that's not true. But he was saying that in different countries, they do not teach love first. They do not teach love. They teach companionship. They teach when you're with someone, how it's going to work together. You look at the dynamics of working together instead of marrying based off of love. He said, but if you look at it statistically, their marriages have more longevity and success than ours here in the United States. I was like, Now I must admit, not to say what he's saying was wrong or right, but I must admit that we do tend to get love and lust mixed up. But on the flip side of it, we are more so conditioned. I will say this, because I remember some of the other countries that I was in and watching their radio, their TV shows or whatever. But we are more conditioned to hate than we are to love. Look at social media. Anytime you have somebody who says something, let people not agree with it. Now, I've never, not once, no, I had one person get ignorance when it came to Marriage Mornings with the Queen, and he tried to pretty much insinuate that I was racist, actually, which I don't know how that is, but whatever. Good morning, Jasana. So, in saying that, give ourselves permission to love our spouse. It's okay if you're in a marriage for you to change your mindset and start loving your spouse instead of looking at your spouse as the enemy. And I often wonder this, how is it that when you're single and when you're dating, oh my God, you are so in love. This is my boo thing. You holding hands, you going on dates, you dressing up for each other. But why is it once you say I do, all that flips? Can somebody help me out by dropping some comments below? Because y'all know I am a deep thinker, and I understand this is Monday morning and I'm laying out a lot. That's why I didn't do the other topic that God placed in my heart. I'm bringing that on tomorrow. But it is okay for us to give ourselves permission to love ourselves, give ourselves permission to be happy, give ourselves permission in our marriages to look at the positive things that we love about our spouse. Because let me tell you this, and this is something that I know because I've done it, and I'm just going to be straight up real. When we always search at, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, I ask, see, what we don't do is get behind, why is it that when I ask this joker don't do it? What is the background information? We don't want to know about the background information. We want to know about the here and now. We don't want to know about the present. But it is okay. It is okay to say, you know what? I choose to focus on the positives and not the negatives. Because guess what? When we focus on the negatives all the time in others, that means we are wanting them to change because we want a perfect person. But realistically, if we think about it and be honest with ourselves, think about, I don't care if you're single right now, I don't care if you're married, think about a relationship that you were in. Just set up and think about it. Think about a relationship that you were in. And to be honest, you seen all the signs right there in front of your face. And you chose to ignore all the signs because we'll sit up here and lie to ourselves, like I often say, ladies, because we think we can change them when they get married, or we marry them, or whatever. Oh, yeah, they date now. Yeah, they smoke a little bit. Yeah, they curse me out. You know, they treat me bad and everything, but I'm not worried about it because when we say I do, if a man, and I'm just using this as an example, don't know how to respect you before you say I do, what make you think he gonna respect you after he say I do? Because 9 times out of 10, with the disrespect comes possessiveness, okay? And then he trying to lock you in the house pretty much. He don't want you to go nowhere. He don't want you to do nothing. So we see all the telltale signs, but we choose to ignore because we quote unquote love. But baby, that's not love. Honestly, that's stupidity. So, especially if we're not seeking God, saying, God, okay, is this the one? Like you want, because you know what I went through in the last relationship. I'm not trying to go through that again. God, is this the one? We don't tend to do that because we get all caught up in our little feelings and emotions. We have to first understand what love is, like I said, by loving ourselves. And then we have to truly ask ourselves, okay, God, is this love or lust that I'm feeling for this individual? Can we be honest? Because sometimes y'all know we be lusting. And I'll even go here with, you know, my fellow folks in the church and stuff like that. Because, yes, we don't want to sin against God. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I was raised up in the church. But we'll rush into a marriage just so we can have the sex. Can we be honest on this morning? Ain't nobody trying to hear me. We will rush into a marriage just so we don't sin against God so we can have the sex, but we ain't even got to know that person. Okay? That's not love, baby. That's lust all the way. Okay? Straight up lust. There is a difference. So, it's okay. Give yourself permission to say, you know what? I love my spouse. I want to be happy. For those of you who are single, I want you to think about this. So when you say I do again, give yourself that permission, even in your singleness right now, to say, I love me. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on me. I'm going before God so he can show me my nastiness so I can deal with it. So I'm not bringing this into my next relationship or whatever the case may be. I encourage you. Let me go ahead. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but see, I don't know your business. So don't get an attitude with me now. But I encourage you to quit jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, baby, because when you do that, you're not hurting nobody but yourself because you're not giving yourself time to heal and you're not giving yourself time to figure out about yourself and what you love about yourself. Okay? We're just jumping straight into the arms of another man. Yep, somebody got mad. We're just jumping straight up. That's what we did. No, get to know yourself. So that way, when you go into a marriage, you know what I'm saying? Then you like, okay, I done worked on me. And I give myself permission. Give yourself permission right down there at the altar when you stand up before the man or woman of God that's marrying you. I give myself, put it in your wedding vows, okay? I give myself permission to love you wholeheartedly. And in that, keep your mind off the negative and focus on the positives. Okay. This is what I like. Cause I had to start doing that. I used to think so negative about my husband, but then I had to look at my husband the way that somebody else may view my husband on the outside. You see what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, what am I tripping about? And that's what I ask people, baby. Don't ask me. Don't ask me, Shan, what's your thoughts on this? Because y'all know I'm going to give you the straight up truth. Okay, my questions will be this. Okay, so do you love him? Yes, I do. Do he have a whole job? Do he get up and go to work? Yes, he does. Do he beat you? He put his hands on you? Is he verbally abusive to you? No, he is not. Do he try to love you the best he can? Yes, he do. What are you tripping about? Why you tripping? So what that's telling me is it's not him, baby, it's you. And see, that's how we, and I'm speaking from a woman's perspective on today, but you can flip it any way you want to. That's how we run off a good man. That's how men, that's how y'all run off a good woman. Because you got a good woman. She's motivating you. She loves you unconditionally. She done gave herself permission to love you. She never talked you down. You know what I'm saying? She gets up. She cooks for you and your family. She makes your food, your lunch, and whatever the case may be. Baby, when you get promoted on your job, she's standing tall, honey. She represents her husband to the max, and you got the audacity in your mind to try to complain about this woman. You better say that, Shirley, baby. That is a whole job. And we ain't gonna talk about the real women, okay, who you love unconditionally and you working behind the scenes. Because I've seen some women, you line up and you do all this, but you got to let everybody know that it's you. Good morning. Is it Jonah? Hey, how you doing? Good morning. You got to let everybody know that you just doing the work. Let me tell you about a real wife, especially when you give yourself permission to love your husband and your family. A real wife ain't got to boast about what she's doing because other real women already know what she's doing to hold her family down. Baby, we ain't got to boast. I can walk out. Yes, my husband is doing a good job. Yep, he take care of her. You know, and that's the kind of stuff people get jealous about because they want you to talk negative. My husband doing a good job. He providing, he putting a roof over our head or whatever. But what you do, sir, is you don't love her. You don't see the positives. You don't give yourself permission to love her because you tied to things in your past. We do that as women as well. Okay. So then you turn around and all you do is talk her down. Well, why you got to be looking like this? Oh, yeah, I thought you was cute when I first got with you and married you or whatever. But, you know, right now I'm not so attracted to you. And you got your wife out there trying to starve herself so she can look like Tyra Banks had a banging body like Halle Berry and all this other kind of stuff when you can just love her for who she is. But you can't love her for who she is because you ain't gave yourself permission to love yourself. Y'all know I'm going to keep it real. I wasn't even trying to go there on this morning. I was trying to be all the way light. But whatever God puts in my spirit, you know I'm going to speak it. So get to the point to where you love yourself, because I put a post on our Facebook, actually on Marriage Mondays with the Kings page yesterday. When you speak down and you speak ugly to your spouse, let me go ahead and keep it real. That means that you actually don't love yourself, especially when your husband or your wife is doing everything to try to make you happy. But then you putting them down and then you wondering why they walking around with their face all hung down low and everything. Baby, when you marry your husband and your wife, it is not for you to put them down. If you got a concern, just like the word of God says, you have to learn how to go to them in love. It don't make no sense when you go to everybody else in love, to the people on your job and you going to the people in the church. You talking to them in love, but you ain't talking to your wife or you ain't talking to your husband in love. I'm gonna need you to get your whole self together, okay? Your whole self. Because that which we do as husbands and wives towards each other to show the love, it is, as Shirley said, a whole job, okay? So I was talking to a young lady yesterday. She said, woo, me and my husband married for over 10 years, but baby, it is not easy. No, it is not, because you really have to work after you say I do. It's more than just the dress, honey. It's more than just the cake that you done shoved in each other's mouth. And it's more than just the honeymoon. You got to be committed to put in some work. And putting in work don't mean putting your spouse down after you say I do. I don't know who I'm talking to on this morning, but y'all know y'all gonna be in my inbox talking about, girl, you was talking about me on this morning, okay? Because that's what usually happens. And y'all gonna see me in these streets in Harker Heights and Killeen and Fort Hood and such. Talking about, girl, when you was talking about such and such or a church, you was talking about me. Well, glory be to God. Because what we have to do is identify the issue. We can't always make our spouse the issue. And then you sit up here and wonder, when you treat them bad and God has released them from you and your tomfoolery, why it is that it seemed like their life is still going on. And yeah, they might have went through because they felt some kind of way because you done treated them like dirt because you don't know how to appreciate a good man or you don't know how to appreciate a good woman. So you sit up here and wonder, okay, well, why they going on without me? Because in your mind, you thought that you was God, okay? You thought that you was the one that can treat them right, all because you didn't give yourself permission to love yourself, all right? You ain't God, baby. The Most High, he sits on the Most High. What you need to do is get yourself together. People can't stand when I talk like that, only because I speak truth. Get yourself together. And if you don't know how to love yourself, I encourage you to line up with the word of God. Okay? I encourage you to identify, where is this self-sabotage coming from where I put down the people who actually love me and care for me and holding it down? I bet you, and I guarantee you from what I know from a counseling perspective, you go back in your family history, baby. Yep, this is how Auntie so-and-so was. Cousin so-and-so, grandpa so-and-so. You will identify that you are passing on these curses to the next generation. But like I always say, who gonna say, the buck stop here? This is it. My daughter gonna know how to love herself. She gonna know how beautiful she is. My sons are gonna know how handsome they are. And guess how they know that? Because mama and daddy let them know. You handsome, son. You don't let anybody treat you different. Hey, Renisha, how you doing, Renisha? You don't let anybody treat you different. Love yourself, daughter. Don't let any man try to tell you and make you feel some kind of way. See, we have to understand we got to identify and give ourselves permission to love ourselves so we can teach our next generation how to love them. Okay? Because if we'll see, and my husband says this all the time, and I love it, especially coming out of man's mouth. What we're not willing to deal with will play out in our children. And then you will set up because some of y'all can look at y'all kids right now and be like, ooh, that joker act just like me. That joker act just like his daddy. Yeah. So ask yourself, are you willing to work on and give yourself permission to, number one, love your spouse? Number one, love yourself. Number two, love your spouse. And number three, love your marriage. Not only for you, but for the sake of the children. Because I know somebody I was talking to, she said, I don't want my daughter to see this and think, because you know how we argue. Let's be honest, because I done told y'all about me and my husband. We done tore up a whole house, okay? Acting a plum fool, showing our whole behind. But guess what? We had to get ourselves together for the sake of our children because we didn't want our children to think that was acceptable. Because you got to understand what we do as parents is we're so quick to blame the world for what our children see. But baby, what you don't understand, what your children first learn is right there within the household. So I say all that to say, get yourself together. When you teach yourself how to love yourself and you love, because baby, Shandon loved herself for a whole 35 years. You hear me? Because I was always trying to live up to somebody else's expectation. I was always trying to let a guy say he loved me and I wasn't hearing that at home. I didn't hear that at home. Did y'all hear that at home? Let a guy say he loved me. Baby, I was sitting up here really thinking that was such a thing, but what he was doing was actually lusting after me and I didn't know the difference. So what are we teaching our kids? So if you're not willing to do, baby, do it for your kids. That's how people get me. Shan, don't do it for yourself. Do it for your kids, because a real parent will do anything for their kids. So if that takes getting yourself together, going to counseling, going to see the pastor and the first lady in counseling, speaking to a friend that's going to teach you the truth and tell you the truth about yourself, because asking your spouse, because they're going to tell you the truth. Learn how to love yourself. Give yourself permission to enjoy yourself in your marriage and think on a positive and not the negative, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because I can go on for a whole nother 30 minutes and open up the Bible and scripture, but that'll put me in preaching mode, okay? So please don't forget to join us tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Marriage Mondays with the Kings, where we're going to be talking about blended families. And I believe we're going to be really transparent on tonight. If you do not have the app, go to the App Store, download KRGN, type in KRGN FM. It's a real blue and white app. Join us on tonight, okay? But like I always say every day, Don't let anybody steal your joy. Share this because it's free. Be a blessing to somebody today and not a curse. And be back with your girl Shan on tomorrow. Unless God change it, I'm going to be talking about husbands and wives. Do you have a house or home? Oh, yeah, it's going to be all the way live up in here. All right. So y'all have a blessed day and blessings to y'all. God bless.